It's about,
Go ahead.
well, welcome everybody. I'm Marc from Reset It, and I'm based out of Montreal, Canada. We have a company called Reset It, and what we do is teach people how to reset what doesn't belong to you. Now, what doesn't belong to is a lot of stuff. Now, especially when we're talking as company owners, directors, administrators, all these people that are in business. Well, you're running your business based on information that is not really yours. And what I mean by this is that your 50 to 60,000 thoughts that you have per day, this is what you're resonating with people. So if you have, and I'll explain what these are, is that there's programming, there's conditionings, and beliefs. These are all based on your past. These are your 50, 60,000 thoughts. So what you're doing in business right now is transferring those programs and conditioning onto other people, whatever that's going to be. There's no good or bad programming. There's just programming. I'll give you an example about a program that I received when I was 13 years old. Now, programs could start whenever, from any age. It could start from 3, 4, 5 years old. You can have programs from all kinds of uh, ways that you can get in. And mine was when I was 13 years old. I was at school. There was a career day at school, and for that moment at 13 years old, I wanted to be an electrician. So I said, that's beautiful. I wanted to do this. I came back home that night. I talked to my father, and he said, well, Mark, you're not good enough in math to do that. Now, he continued on with his explanation. But when I was 13 years old, the only thing that I received was that I wasn't good enough. So from 13 years old, everything that I touched, everything I thought was based on that program. I couldn't where I didn't the I wasn't good enough to do things that I wanted to do because my father told me that, and that became my belief that I was not good enough. So imagine that you receive something from your mother or your father, uh, a criticism. You're not doing this, or you can't do that, or it could be your father, it could be your mother, it could be a school teacher. And what I'm seeing in our clients is that even when you're doing you're speaking in front of a class in school, well, these have reactions to us, and that's what I call programming. And there's the conditioning. The conditioning is that it's day in, day out, receiving messages from outside of yourself. And our society really transfers those conditioning onto us. Meaning is that you've got the marketing, the publicity that you have to buy these foods, you have to buy these products. Well, this is called conditioning as well. And we start believing in those conditioning, especially with social media today. We're bombarded by a lot of messages, and we are basing our who we are based on those messages. So these are the conditioning. And another conditioning is that I like to talk about is that I don't know when you were younger, when everybody was at home and you would start eating supper. And I in my house is that if you didn't finish your supper, you wouldn't get a dessert. That's where the conditioning start. Bridget's going, yes, me too. She's from Europe. I'm from Europe as well. That's what we got is that these conditioning started there. Is that you started putting stuff in and you started eating things that your body was telling you that you're not full anymore, but you're still eating it because that's the conditioning that you're in. So we're eating food based on conditioning so we can get that reward on getting that dessert. So you see how these conditionings, now there could be a lot of them, is running our lives. As an entrepreneur, as a business person, what we're doing is transferring those programs and conditioning onto other people. It's unconscious, but we're doing it. And what we're saying to our future customers is that because of these programs and conditioning that we're in, this is what we're sending out. And this is what we're receiving from other people. So when you are talking to your customers, but you have that little voice inside of you saying, I'm not good enough, well, guess what? That's the energy that you're sending to them. So there's three basic things is that the programming, conditioning, and the beliefs around it. We all have beliefs that came from outside of ourselves. So these beliefs, we start believing in them that we do this and this is the we have to work hard for a business. We have to, it's not easy to make money. All these beliefs that we believe in. And as soon as we believe in them, they become our reality. That's our 50 to 60,000 thoughts that we're having. And these thoughts are controlling us. And we have no choice in that. Well, we have a choice based on those programs, conditions, of course. And that's what we're putting more energy into things that have nothing to do with us. So we believe in things that are not even ours. And that becomes our reality. And that most of businesses close because of those three things: your programming, your conditions, and your beliefs. It's not about the money. It's about what we believe about the money. What's the program and condition attached to money? Can we make money? Or we're losing money? Well, these are all based on information that had nothing to do with you, and that's why your business is not running. We're looking for customers. So what happens is that we're looking for customers. We're looking for something based on our programs and conditioning. So what we're saying to our customers, please don't buy from me, based on the information that we are programmed in a certain way. Like I was programmed that I was not good enough. So I tried to put a nice face on. I put my stuff on, wear my suit, go out, do my stuff. And all I was doing to my customers is saying, please don't buy from me. And I used to use all the sale in sales, we use the techniques to try to sell it, try to manipulate to control them to buy from us. But these are sales techniques. But what people buy is you. And when you are so well with yourself, that's where they buy from you. So there's these three things. So the programming, the conditionings, and beliefs. Everything up to now, everybody understands it? Just a little, yeah, beautiful. So what we're putting out there is the programs and conditioning. So when you reset those programs and conditionings and beliefs, the only thing that is left over is you. See, this is what we teach you is this, it's nothing new. You've been like this before. When you were 3 or 4 years old, you were always in the state of presence. Now, what I mean by the state of presence is the absence of our programs and condition. That's all it is. It's not this magical space that you can get in and you have to meditate and you do this. It's just the absence of the programs and conditioning. So when you're making choices based on the absence of your programs and conditioning, that becomes your choice. So when you make the choice, that is what's resonating with other people. That is what people are buying from you because now you're making the choice. So there's that programming conditioning attached to it. There's the state of presence that's the duality of the two. And what happens is that our program is based on two sciences, the neuroscience field and the quantum energy field. So the neuroscience field is that what you're putting in your mind, what your 50, 60,000 thoughts, that becomes your reality, whatever that's going to be for you. And in the quantum energy field, the quantum energy field is that the energies that are attached to these thoughts, we all measure it. There's a beautiful research that Dr. Emoto did a while ago, is that he cooked a rice with water. He cooked it and put it in 3 different containers. Just by putting these in 3 different containers, and he would label each container. One, he would say positive things. Oh, I love you. You're good. You're doing a good job. All the stuff that we receive. And then in the second one, he would put in, you're not good. I'm not good enough. I don't love you. And the third one, he would ignore. So after 30 days, just by speaking this way to the three containers, well, the third one he didn't speak to, the first one that was more negative turned black. The one that he would resonate with and said beautiful things about stayed white. And the third one was a mix between the two, that in between the two, the white and the black. So what this is teaching us is that whatever we think about becomes our reality. So what are you saying to yourself that's becoming your reality? Oh, I'm not good enough. I don't make money. I don't, my business is not running. We've got all these thoughts that are going through our minds. And when we put this into our minds on the business side, as a CEO, administrator, anybody that's in power of other people, well, what you're doing is transferring your programs and conditioning onto them. And they become the program. They're doing exactly what you want because that's the program. So when you're reset those programs and conditionings of all the other stuff, and that's what Dr. Imatol is teaching us, is that when that quantum energy field is there, and you're based on you in this state of presence with the absence of your programs and conditioning, well, that becomes your reality. Whatever you put into that space will become your reality, whatever that's going to be for you. So when you're in the state of presence, and this is what we teach you, is to reset all your issues so that you can be in that state of presence and make choices based on who you are. So as a CEO, as a business owner, what do you want to, how do you want to run your business? Do you want to run your business on what we've learned from our past programs and conditioning? Like we're listening to all these gurus and trying to do things on their issues, and we're seeing this on social media. Come and see us. We'll help you on social media, blah, blah, blah. But we're doing it based on programs and conditionings of other people. Now, I got a question for you. Did you guys ever read a self-help book? Probably most of us. So these books that we're reading is based on programs and conditioning of other people. So we adapt their programs and conditioning to us. We measure ourselves and we become the program, whatever that program is. And I have an exercise that I do with how I teach it is that I read the chapter in your programs and conditioning as normal. And when you're in the state of presence, read the book again, read that chapter again. You're going to understand completely different things because you're reading it from one thing only, you. Without any influence around you, you're reading it from there. And if it fits with you, what you're hearing, well, that belongs to you because you're reading it from your state of presence of who you are. Pretty clear up to now? So when we're in the state of presence of doing what we need to do, your business is going to change. Why? Because you have changed. Your business right now, what they're buying from you is you. They don't care about what you do and how you do it. They want to buy you first. So if I take 10 people that are 5 people that are all coaches or whatever, the same job in a row, and I just see them. I'm not talking to them. I just see them so right now on the screen. How you resonate with other people is based on, right now, it's based on your programs and conditioning. But when you are resonating of who you are, it's just being present in the action you're doing. And what happens when you see somebody online, oh, I want to meet this person. I don't know why. And that's what happened with Bridget. I saw her online with a couple months ago. I saw her and I wanted to meet her. Why? I had no clue why I wanted to meet her. But we had a conversation. We did what we did, and it just we put things in place so that things are going to happen. But if she wasn't there in that state, in that space, why should I buy from her? So when you are in the state of presence, you resonate in energy of who you are, and that's what they want to buy from you. So imagine your business right now that it's difficult to make money. It's not that easy. All these things that we're telling ourselves, and that becomes our reality. When you reset those messages that you're sending to yourself or receiving from other people, when you reset that, the only thing that's left over is you. So you make the choices of what you want to do in your business, and that will ripple down in the effects of all your life. And that's what we're seeing in all our customers. Not just one, all of our customers. We have now 12 members of our team teaching this to other people. But to teach this, they have to reset all their issues. If they don't reset their issues, all they're going to do, like everybody else, is going to transfer their programs and conditioning on to other people. So when you make that change, when you make that change for yourself, now you're not just changing your business, you're changing your relationship with the people around you, your spouses, your children. These are all effects about who you are and what you want to do in your life. Like Chris was saying, his business has changed. He's attracting the relationships that he wants. Why? What changed? He reset the programs and conditionings and beliefs that wasn't his. That's all he did. Nothing more, nothing. That's all he did was to reset what doesn't belong to him. Because our 50, 60,000 thoughts don't belong to us. They've been given to us by other people. So imagine now today, once you go through our program, now the program is 2 sessions long. It's not, you don't have to work on yourself for the next 10 years. There are some other people that need more support from us, but in our regular thing, it's 2 sessions. And what we've decided as a company is to not charge you an arm and a leg for it, is that we charge you a reasonable price so that you can do this. That's all it is. We don't work with high ticket items because I don't believe in high ticket items. I believe that the more people that go through, because there are 8 billion people in the world, and we all need a reset. There's nobody in this world that I've seen up to now that doesn't need a reset. There's always something, some issues in their life that they need to reset. Because that's your programs and conditioning. Once you reset that, it becomes a magical space where you are who you are doing the things that you do. See, if I wasn't in the state of presence doing what I do today, I'll give you a little bit of background. About a year and a half, 2 years ago, I was doing this on my own. 100% doing this on my own, having fun with it, meeting a lot of people. Then I met Lynn in the States, and we had a conversation call. And she goes, I like this. I want to go through this. And we went through the first session, and she's going, oh, wow, the change. The second session, she says, okay, Mark, I understand it now. Now I want to teach this. And I said to her at the beginning, I said, no, I'm not going to teach you. Right now, this is not in my plan. But that was part of that. I didn't want to do it. But what happened is that when I received what from Lynn saying, I want to teach it, it took me in a different place and said, hey, there's something there. So I sat down with myself over that weekend. I wrote the course in 20 minutes, did the pricing, everything was done. I called her back the next week and she goes, when can I start? That was a year and a half, almost 2 years now. Now we're 12 members of my team doing the same thing. Never thought of having a team. Never thought of putting all this together. But that's living in the moment. You're just receiving what you need to receive when you need to receive it. But if you're in your programs and conditioning, you're receiving it, but you're not listening to it. See, we all have these messages. All of us do have these messages. And when you receive it, you just do what you need to do. So how does this resonate for you guys? Good. Any questions up to now? I guess I was pretty clear. Go ahead, Ingrid.
Yeah, I have one. I guess I found that hearing other people's perspectives can be helpful with finding my own clarity of who I have become as an adult. Because, yeah, there's been a lot of stuff through life that had to happen, whatever. And so I guess I noticed that I've kind of who's Ingrid these days, right? And as I'm trying to build a business and I don't have a clue, I need to. So I've been gathering other ideas from folks. And you're right, some of it is like, no, that doesn't really feel like me. But do you find that I guess having perspectives of others, can that help us find clarity for ourselves? Or do I just kind of need to only listen to me? I guess that's where I'm kind of stuck.
So right now, what's happening, Ingrid, is that you're listening based on the programs and conditioning. Your programs and conditioning. So you're receiving the programs and conditioning of other people. So you're measuring the programs and conditioning, and you're building something based on information that had nothing to do with you, really. So what I suggest is to go through our session, get connected with the only person in this world, you, and forget about everything else that you've learned up to now. Not necessarily the techniques and everything else, but the programs and conditioning attached to it, because you've learned something, which is good. But when you relearn it from your state of presence, it's completely a different way of looking at it. So what's happening is that your business is going to be based on information that has nothing to do with you. And
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I appreciate that. Um,
if
I,
you're if you know the money that you want to make, if it's based on a program and conditioning, well, you're going to just follow that program, whatever that's going to be for you. It's not your choice. So when you are in the state of presence, the absence of our programs and conditioning again. So you're free to do whatever you want to do. Now you will learn things, yes, but based on your state of presence. And then when that resonates with you, that's what you're going to receive. Where you're in your programs and conditioning, you'll receive the same thing, but it's not yours. I answer your question a little bit?
it does, yes. It sounds like I'm going to probably hear things differently when I
Mhm.
am more in touch with who I am and not just hearing things and trying
Yeah.
to use that to help me figure out who I am. I need that first.
Yeah.
So yeah, that does. Thanks, Mark.
It's the same thing when we read when before doing the reset, I was going into all the self-help things and trying to find myself, working on myself, trying to find in different ways to say, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to do it based on somebody else's information, but that didn't belong to me. So it felt it felt fake. It didn't really resonate with me. So when I had my reset, everything became clear. everything became everything that I put into that state of presence became my reality. My marriage that I had before, that was based on my programs and conditioning, it's not there anymore. The money that I was making before, that I wasn't good enough to make $100,000 or $50,000 or $20,000 a year, that I wasn't good enough, is not there anymore. Because where I'm not basing my thought process of what I used to have. I'm based on one thing only, me making the choice right now. What do I want to do in my life? How do I want to live my life? And as business professionals, we have to make a plan. We have to have a business plan. We have to do this, we have to do that. Well, this plan, it's just another program because you're just following that plan. But when you're listening to the market, when you're listening to the people around you, you're receiving what you need to receive, that is where the change is going to be for you. Yes, go ahead, Arif.
Yeah. So,
Uh,
I mean, I obviously I don't want to like put you on the spot or anything, Mark. And I know that everything has a degree of, relativity to it.
mm.
But can you say like after someone like used your process or as a client, like how long it took for them to have like a tangible breakthrough? And by tangible breakthrough, I mean like they were, let's say that there's obviously many vectors of breakthrough. One is obviously the what do you think about yourself, your performance, but then another vector is obviously revenue. So can you share, and you don't have to get into too many specifics, but can you share like what is the fastest time it took for a client to get to that milestone, whatever that is, and also what was the longest time it took for a client? Because I know that everyone is different and everyone has their own kind of like crap that they have to work through, which gets in the way. But if you can kind of speak to that, I think that would kind of help us understand this further.
Thank you very much for that question. everybody, like you were saying, everybody's different. Some people take a little bit longer, some people take a little bit shorter. But what we teach you in 2 sessions, we teach you a method that you can do this on your own. So you have the power to do this on your own. That you don't need me to do the transfer. You have that already inside of you. After 2 sessions, you know what you need to do. Now it's up to you to do it. Now, if you want that immediate transformation, it's instant. I mean, instant. You can change your life. And that's what, in 2016, I did a TED talk on my research on neuroscience and quantum physics. And my talk was that how can we change our lives in a fraction of a second? Well, that's what it is. It's a fraction of a second. You make a choice, that becomes your reality in that choice. Now, if you make that choice based on your programs and conditioning, well, you'll have the programs and conditioning attached to it. So yes, you're going to take a little bit long. You're going to take a lot more time. And I'll give you another example. I have one of my members of our team. He spent over $250,000 trying to find himself. He went to all the gurus in India. He went all over the world trying to find himself. And we did it. The basic training went 2 sessions. And he loved it. I mean, he loved it. Now he's one of our members of our team. Because he's not looking for anything anymore. He's being who he is. So when you are in that position of knowing who you are, you can do anything in this world. And that's the power we all have inside of us. Go ahead, Chris.
I want to help answer that question. So it is instant, right? But that's not the right question. It can happen instantly. It did for me. As soon as I leave the session, I felt like a different person, right? And I was a different person. The real question is, how long can you stay there?
Okay.
And that's the challenge, right? So is it an hour? Is it the next day? Is it the next week? And then all of a sudden I realized, hey, wait a second, I'm back to old thinking and old behaviors, and I had to reset myself, right? But I have that gift now, that tool, because Marc taught me how to do that, how to put myself in that space. The tricky part is realizing when you slip out of it. So you're in it the second you want to be in it, right? And you're there. But it's staying there that is somewhat of the challenge, at least for me. I'll just speak for me.
Beautiful. The thing is that, you've got 50 to 60 trillion cells in your body. Okay. So your cells are nourished right now. They're nourished through your thought process, through your programs and conditioning. So this is what you're feeling every day. When you get into this state of presence, your mind, the absence of your programs and conditioning. So your 50 to 60 trillion cells now are based on you. Now, when I'm saying being you felt this before. When you're 3, 4 years, this is nothing new we're doing. You felt this energy inside of you before. You're just going back to your original state of who you are. There's nothing new in there. You receive, when you were younger, you were in the state of presence. It's that our society, our parents started training us and programming us not to be in that state of presence. So when your body goes into the state of presence, it has a reaction to it. And when you're in your programs and conditioning, it has another reaction. Now it's up to you, that's what we teach you. When your body has a reaction to something that's coming from your programs and conditioning, your body's going to tell you. Now it's up to you to listen to it. And that's what Chris is saying. Sometimes it creeps up, it bites you in the ass, but you have the tool to come back and do it. That's the beautiful part of our program.
Another
We teach you the
thing
method.
is that sometimes walking into a situation that may have triggered you before, let's say parents, or let's say speaking at an event, or whatever it might be, you can reset yourself prior to going into that situation just to put on the armor a little bit, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So you see, when
And I shouldn't say you can, I can. I'll keep it about me.
Beautiful. So by doing this, this is what we teach you, is that we're not therapists, we're not coaches. We teach you the method that you and only you can do this on your own. Now it's up to you. Depends your choice is what you want. Now, if you want to go back into your programs and conditioning, that becomes your choice now. You can't complain about it because you're living in that space. You know the difference because you felt it. You went through the program. You know what you know, and you know what you didn't know before. So now you know how to reset it. So when you're aware of the programs and conditioning, well then, okay, that's a program of my father. That's a program of my brother. This is a program for my spouse. This is when I see a lot of couples are transferring their programs and conditioning from all the different spouses they had. And then they bring that into the new relationship. And they go, holy cow, how come I'm always attracting these people, the same type of people in my life? Well, guess what? It's a program and condition. You had nothing to do with it. You're just following the same thing. The same thing as happens with our businesses. We attract the people in our businesses based on our programs and conditioning. Now, is your business running? Could be. Have it. You can make millions of dollars, but once you receive that, then your thought process, you started going back. Okay, I'm gonna, I got to keep doing this. I got to blah blah blah, and then you get burned out. And these are other programs and conditioning that brings you into that space. But when you're doing it from the state of presence, it's so easy to make money. It's so easy to have a business because it's yours. You do what you need to do in the moment you need to do it. That's all you have to do. Because at the end of the day, all they're doing is buying you. Any other questions for me?
That's it. Everyone's cured.
So, if I may, so Marc, I mean, Chris, you did sort of answer my question a little bit, like you got like an instant transformation. That's great. But like Marc, you didn't exactly answer my question as far as like how long it took after the session that a person reached his goal of, let's say, a financial goal. So do you have any kind of, and like, I mean, the caveat is that yes, everyone is different, but knowing timelines, I think is super helpful, at least for me specifically, because that kind of helps me to understand the efficacy.
That's the thing that, we believe in goals. When we believe in goals, that's the goal that runs our lives. Now, what you're saying, oh, I want to reach this goal. So you're putting your actions and your events on this goal, and that becomes the reality of that goal. How long it's going to take you, it's going to take you. What we teach you is that there is no goal. There is choices of doing what you want to do. So you want to make $1,000 a month? It's a choice to make money. So when you make that choice to make money, well, that resonates with other people, and that's what you attract. See, and this is one of the things is that we are not looking for clients. I'm not looking for clients at all. I'm receiving customers. Why? Because they want to buy something from me. So whatever I put into that space that I want to make $1 million this year, well, all the events and everything that I'll do was based on my choice of making $1 million. It's not that I put it as a dream or a goal. No, it becomes my choice. It's a choice to have a relationship. It's a choice to have things that you want in your life based on one thing only, you, not anything else. So the time frame, there is no time frame. You will always receive what you need to receive in the moment you need to receive it.
Great question, though, and good follow-up. Any other questions? Going once? Twice? Marc, any closing comments?
Well, I just want to thank you for being present with me today. And reach out if you have any other things you want to go through our program. We have 12 beautiful members of our team. It's all this. We're doing corporate. We're doing all different projects on what we want to teach on the Reset It program outside. So we're doing the CO program. We're doing all the administration, all the executive suites. We're doing our Reset It. And we're getting some amazing results from it because it all starts with themselves first. And then we're working on the other stuff that we're working on is other different avenues that we see in the market right now that a lot of people are programmed and conditioning around. So we're
Mark,
doing
why
that.
don't
We're
you talk
doing,
numbers for people a little bit and put a link in the chat where people can connect with you? But
yes.
why don't you let them know about pricing while you put that link in the chat?
Well, the pricing for our service is so expensive. It's costing you more not to come through our program.
Without a doubt.
So our price is $340 US to go through the 2 sessions. And Ingrid, $450 Canadian for you. That's it.
And
Now,
what
if you
about the
need some
corporate
if you need some extra support, well, then there's a system behind that. But regular stuff is $340 to go through it.
And what about for somebody who has a company and wants to put 10 employees through or something like that?
So if the company wants to come through, the first thing we do with companies is reset the administration team, whatever that's going to be. Once the employees see the change in their company based on the new way of looking at life and the way that you reset the programs and everything, that will trickle down into their employees. But it starts from the people in the places that are making the decisions.
So it's the same price for corporate as well
It's the
as
same price, same thing. We haven't changed it. We're not targeting getting more money from corporate than, because what happens is that when we do this in corporate, let's say in CEOs, hi Bridget, thank you. When you see when a CEO goes through our program, that trickles down into their families. Their what they do now, because it's the same price. They go on their website and they book their call. So we don't have anything different than for our regular program.
Okay. Any
And
other
my
questions?
info is in the chat. We have a beautiful podcast as well, which is the Neuro Quantum Chats with Marc and Lynn. We go through a lot of stuff. We're having fun with it. So we go through on what money is and what the programs and conditioning attached to a lot of subjects. So go on to it. And if you want to learn more, I have 150 articles written on neuroscience, quantum physics, programs and conditioning on my website. So if you really want to take a deep dive, go in.
Very good. Marc, thank you. Thank you for making the time to do this.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for everybody to be part of this, and hopefully see all you soon.
All righty. And please visit On the Bus if you want to check out some of our other events, including free networking on Mondays and Thursdays and our trade shows and whatever. We have lots going on for small business owners. Thank you. Have a good weekend, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you both.
Thanks, Paul, for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.